Hi, I'm Bernie Wild,
And I'm Susan Wild, and this is our dog Barkley.
and our channel and website name is Wild on the Go because we're the Wild family and we're on the go both physically and creatively.
So, a little bit of background. For the last almost 20 years, we've lived in the same house and worked from home and been very isolated and stationary.
And we decided to move into an RV, and there's several reasons for that. One is we were living in what we considered a relatively big house. It was about 3,000 square feet, 5 bedrooms, few baths, and we had accumulated a lot of things over the years. Not necessarily what we consider junk or clutter, but we had things that we didn't use that often. Like 2 living rooms full of furniture, 2 dining rooms, that type of thing, where you have a formal dining room that you only use on holidays and things, and it just got to be a little overwhelming for it just being the three of us. So we decided that we'd start downsizing, and there's several other reasons what that led to this decision.
Yeah, another reason was that we had recently lost loved ones and found out what a burden it is on the family to try to disperse and get rid of all the stuff that people accumulate. So we decided that we didn't want to leave that burden for our families, that we would just take care of getting rid of as much stuff as we could.
Yeah, so we started getting rid of things and stuff, as we'll talk about in a little bit. But another thing is that we were working from home, and so that isolated us quite a bit. I mean, day in and day out, we were in our house all day long, and that went on for many years. So it isolated us from being out, like working with other employees and things of that nature. So we wanted to change something that would get us out among people and get us exploring a little bit more.
Right, and decided that we needed to explore now while we can. We both have some health issues that we deal with, and you never know how much time you're going to have, so we decided to do it now while we're able to.
Yeah, and at this point, it seemed like an RV was our best option. I mean, we had went over so many different scenarios trying to figure out, what should we do? Should we move into another smaller house somewhere, or maybe get land and put a manufactured home on it, or a cabin, or a tiny house, or that sort of thing? But the more that we looked into it, the more it just kind of just leaned towards putting us back into the same situation we were trying to get away from. It was tying us down. It was a lot of overhead, and to get land, it seemed like we had to go considerably out to be able to afford it, which put us farther away from services, which meant more expense to get things up and running for us there in terms of septic and power and water and that type of thing. So we just found that the RV seemed like a much simpler solution that was going to put us on the right track to exploring and getting out and meeting people and doing more. And so when we studied which type of RV would be the best for us, we actually wrote an article about it and put it on WildOnTheGo.com. You can go check it out. It just basically goes over why we decided to get a fifth wheel and a truck over other options like, say, a motorhome.
And it's not a one-size-fits-all option by any means. We encourage people to just go after whatever it is that they would like to do and just give it a shot.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of options in the RV world. I mean, we've seen people living in converted vans, Class C's, Class A motorhomes, pull trailers, fifth wheels. So there's a lot of different recreational vehicles out there to choose from, and it's just got to be the right fit
Just
for
what
you.
fits your family, your lifestyle.
Definitely. And we've been doing this at the time of the filming here. We've been doing it for almost a year, and we've seen and done so much already and met so many people and just have been having a great time.
Yeah,
We've
for
definitely
sure.
met more people and done more with people than we had in many years.
Right.
So,
I mean, we've done more in the last 9 months and gone more places, met more people than we had in probably the previous 10 years combined. It's just
Yeah.
been amazing.
And Susan and I have actually combined, have put in about 1,000 hours of volunteer time in the state parks doing interpretive teaching programs and guided hikes and running discovery centers and things of that nature. So we've been able to do that as well, and so that's been quite
It's
wonderful.
been really great, but it was not an easy transition or a change by any
Not
means.
at all.
Very time consuming. We began downsizing in the summer, and it took us till the following spring.
Yes.
I believe we had 9 garage sales. We took at least 8 trips to donation sites, about 5 truckloads to the dump recycle center, an entire truckload of paperwork to a shredding facility. We had so much paperwork from our home business that we had just accumulated, because if you have room, you just keep getting stuff,
Yeah.
and you don't get rid of it. So it was a very big undertaking, and all the while trying to do things to get the house ready to be sold.
Yeah, and the trips to the dump, it wasn't actually like just throwing it all in a big pile and letting them bulldoze it over. We actually had to separate it into metal and wood and plastic and electronics and things like that. So we didn't get rid of anything that people could immediately put to use. So those types of things we donated or sold or
Gave
to family, that type of thing. So we ended up selling our house. We put the house on the market, and let's see, it was about, I guess, the next morning, we got an offer on the house before the sign was even in the front yard. Just from the listing, we got an offer, and the buyers that made the offer were the people that actually eventually ended up buying the house. It was not a cut and dried thing by any stretch of the
No.
imagination. We went through multiple appraisals and inspections and different things. Some of you out there know exactly what we're talking about. It can be quite an ordeal, very stressful time.
It's a
You know-
big learning curve. We'd never sold the house, so we really didn't know what to expect.
But like with most
eventually.
things, you know, if you just tenaciously stick to it and go after what you want, it'll happen. Because, you know, like we mentioned, we spent from summer of one year to deep into spring of the next year preparing and working towards this goal to move into an RV. So it wasn't anything that we did presumptuously, or what would you call it, impulsively. We definitely put some thought, and we had quite a bit of time to back out of it, because we certainly wouldn't have put ourselves through all of that if we still weren't on board with the idea. So, you know, I think sometimes people can get ideas about doing things, whether it's hiking a long trail across the country or something like that, and it can seem quite romantic, you know, of an idea in the beginning, and then when you're actually doing it and you're like, gee, I'm carrying all this stuff on my back, you know, is this really what I was envisioning? Well, it's not unlike that with a lot of things. You know, you got to be able to put yourself in that situation and think ahead a little bit and decide, you know, can I really make it with less stuff? Can I be in a smaller place? And sometimes people ask us if we, you know, get on each other's nerves or whatever. No more than we normally would. But the thing is that, you know, we had worked together for many years, and so we already know how to, you know, use the same space quite well. And with the dog, I guess you know, he was, no matter how big the house is, he's still right under our feet. So it's nothing different there. But, you know, we really don't miss a whole lot of things by living in the fifth wheel. So, you know, when we got our truck in fifth wheel, and we had, you know, measured everything and made sure that all of the stuff that we had remaining would fit in it. And we actually ended up with a little bit more room than we thought. But
yeah.
but like anything else, if you have space, you're probably going
gonna
to
use
fill
it.
it. You know, so you have to stay on it. I mean, you know, something I tell people a lot is that changing your zip code isn't going to necessarily remedy all your problems. Moving into a different situation isn't necessarily going to do it. You still live in the same skin. The weather's still going to affect you. You still gotta, have a way to make a living and all those types of things. But, I find that if you, let go of one shore, you can get to the other. I mean, once you start moving in the direction you want to go, things start falling into place. You start making them happen, but they're not going to all fall into place while you're sitting there. You're not going to get anywhere unless you start moving forward on your ideas and your dreams.
Yeah, for sure. And so we are traveling and exploring nature and meeting new people all the time, making some great friends along the way, and it's just been really
It's been amazing. And we plan to share these things, our travels, our interviews that we do with people, some of the reviews that we do, and our outdoor travel and skills and tips and things like that. So
we invite you all to subscribe and share and
visit WildOnTheGo.com, where we're going to be posting articles. The videos will also be posted there. And that's the best place to reach us and to give us feedback or to comment on the videos, because it'll be all in one place for us. And while we're traveling, that's going to be the most manageable for us. So we invite you to visit WildOnTheGo.com and to check back, because we'll be releasing new videos from time to time. And we thank you very much for watching.
yes, thanks for watching.